On November 29, 1981, the lifeless body of Hollywood actress Natalie Wood was discovered floating off the coast of California's Catalina Island. At 43 years old, she was a legendary figure known for her roles in Rebel Without a Cause, West Side Story, and Miracle on 34th Street. Wood's death initially seemed like an accident. She had drowned after slipping off a yacht, but over the years, the official story has been called into question. New witnesses and evidence have emerged, suggesting that the truth about her tragic death might be far more complex and troubling. For decades, the circumstances surrounding her death were left shrouded in mystery, with many speculating that there was more to the story than what was reported. The yacht trip that turned into a nightmare. Natalie Wood had spent Thanksgiving weekend aboard the yacht Splendor with her husband, actor Robert Wagner, her co-star Christopher Walken, and the yacht's captain, Dennis Davern. What was supposed to be a relaxing getaway soon turned into an unforgettable nightmare. The weather that night was rough, with strong winds and high waves. Despite this, Wagner insisted on relocating the yacht to a more secluded spot called Two Harbors. It was here that the tension began to rise. The group had gone ashore for dinner, where they drank heavily and became visibly intoxicated. On returning to the yacht, an argument between Wagner and Wood erupted, fueled by Wagner's jealousy over her close relationship with Walken. The silent night, a desperate plea for help. The argument on the yacht that night escalated, leading to an eerie silence after Natalie Wood retired to her cabin. Around midnight, a woman on a nearby boat, Marilyn Wayne, heard cries for help coming from the water. The desperate calls lasted for almost 15 minutes, with someone pleading, "Help me, I'm drowning." After the cries stopped, a calm male voice replied, "Okay, honey." Then, silence followed. Despite hearing these desperate pleas, no immediate action was taken to search for Wood. It wasn't until over 4 hours later that anyone called for help, by which time it was too late. Wood's body was found floating a mile from the yacht, adding to the many unanswered questions surrounding her death. The inconsistent story. What really happened? The official story given by Wagner was that Natalie had gone out to secure the dinghy and accidentally slipped into the water. But those who knew her best, including family members and close friends, believed this explanation was highly unlikely. Natalie had a lifelong fear of dark water and would never have willingly ventured into the ocean alone, especially at night. Her mother had once told her that a psychic had predicted she would die by drowning, a superstition that haunted Natalie throughout her life. Those who knew her well were certain that this was not an accident, but something far more sinister. Natalie Wood's early life, the price of fame. Natalie Wood's rise to stardom was as fast as it was grueling. Born Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko in San Francisco on July 20, 1938, to Russian immigrant parents, her path to Hollywood came at a cost. Her mother, Maria, saw fame as their way out of poverty, and she pushed Natalie hard to achieve it. Natalie's first role came at the tender age of 4, and she quickly became a familiar face in Hollywood. Despite her success, Natalie's childhood was marred by a demanding work schedule and an overbearing mother. By age 9, she was already starring in Miracle on 34th Street. The pressure to maintain a perfect image left little room for the carefree joy of childhood. Hollywood's dark side, the price of perfection. As Natalie Wood transitioned from child star to leading lady, the pressures only intensified. She was thrust into the limelight with films like Rebel Without a Cause, where she became an iconic figure alongside James Dean. Yet, beneath the glamorous exterior, Natalie was living with confusion and pain. Her relationship with director Nicholas Ray, who was almost 3 times her age, was marked by exploitation, leaving her heartbroken. This experience shaped her understanding of Hollywood as a place where she was not seen as a person, but as a commodity to be used and controlled. Her relationships, particularly her marriages, would later mirror these themes of love and jealousy, power and control. Love and jealousy. The turbulent marriage to Robert Wagner. Natalie's relationship with Robert Wagner seemed like a fairy tale come true. She had once pointed to his photo as a child and declared she would marry him. At 19, their dreamlike romance became a reality when they wed in 1957, quickly becoming Hollywood's golden couple. But behind the facade of perfection, cracks began to form. Wagner's career stalled while Natalie soared. The imbalance between their success led to hidden tensions, fueled by jealousy and insecurity. By 1962, rumors of Wagner's infidelity surfaced, leading to their divorce. Despite the heartbreak, Natalie moved on and remarried in 1969. But this relationship also ended due to betrayal. And once again, Natalie found herself alone. A second chance, rekindling romance with Robert Wagner. In 1972, Natalie and Robert Wagner reunited, both older and wiser, and remarried. Their second marriage, which took place on a yacht off Malibu, appeared to be a second chance at happiness. The couple had a daughter together, Courtney, in 1974, and for a while, things seemed calm. But old patterns resurfaced. Wagner's jealousy and Natalie's restlessness led to frequent arguments, and despite their outwardly perfect life, their relationship remained tumultuous. By the late 1970s, Natalie began to withdraw from Hollywood, focusing on family life. However, the arrival of Brainstorm, a film co-starring Christopher Walken, reignited tensions between the couple. Wagner was visibly jealous of their on-screen chemistry, and the already fragile marriage began to unravel again. The investigation that reopened old wounds. For years, the official story surrounding Natalie Wood's death remained unchanged. It was ruled an accident, with little investigation into the circumstances, but those who were close to her, including her sister Lana Wood, never accepted this explanation. Lana relentlessly pushed for answers, demanding that the truth be uncovered. In 2000, Captain Dennis Davern, who had been aboard the yacht that fateful night, finally spoke out. He claimed that Wagner had become enraged after an argument with Walken, and that, after Natalie retired to her cabin, Wagner followed her below deck. What happened next remains unclear, but Davern's account raised significant doubts about the official story. New evidence and witness testimonies. In the years following Davern's revelations, new evidence began to emerge. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the case in 2011, citing inconsistencies in witness statements and new information. Forensic investigators discovered bruises on Natalie Wood's body that suggested she may have been assaulted before her death. In 2012, the coroner's office amended her death certificate, changing the cause of death from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors. Further investigation named Robert Wagner as a person of interest, with investigators pointing out that his story about the events that night did not align with the accounts given by other witnesses. Despite this, Wagner continued to refuse cooperation with authorities. The continuing mystery. What happened that night? As the years passed, the investigation into Natalie Wood's death has raised more questions than answers. Witnesses from nearby boats have come forward, recalling how they heard cries for help, followed by a man's calm response. Others reported seeing unusual movement on the yacht long after Wagner claimed everyone had gone to bed. These new accounts cast doubt on the idea that Natalie's death was a simple accident. Investigators have emphasized the critical 4-hour gap before anyone contacted authorities. In cold water, survival time is measured in minutes, and if help had been summoned immediately, Natalie might have been saved. A lifetime of struggle, Natalie's fear of drowning. To truly understand what happened that night, it's important to consider Natalie Wood's lifelong fear of dark water. This fear, which she never fully explained, was rooted in both superstition and deep-seated anxiety. She had been told by her mother that a fortune teller had predicted her death by drowning. Whether she believed it or not, the idea haunted her throughout her life. Natalie was never comfortable in the water, and she refused to swim alone or board small boats without someone she trusted. This fear of drowning symbolizes a deeper terror, of being trapped, of losing control, and of not being heard. It's this haunting fear that has left people questioning whether Natalie's death was truly an accident or something far darker. The final act, a star's tragic end. The final moments of Natalie Wood's life are a chilling reflection of everything she feared. Eyewitnesses recall hearing her desperate cries for help as she struggled in the water, only to be met with a distant, indifferent response. The silence that followed echoed the silence she had lived with for years, a silence imposed by those who refused to acknowledge the pain beneath her flawless exterior. In the end, Natalie Wood's death was not just a tragic accident, it was the culmination of years of secrecy, manipulation, and unspoken trauma. The mystery of her death may never be fully solved, but the truth about her life and the darkness that ultimately claimed her is something the world cannot forget.